Howdy guys, how's it going? So we're out here on another extremely hot and humid day. This was another one of a last minute outings. I hadn't planned on coming out, so I just threw everything into this canvas duffel bag and then come to one of my tried and true base camp locations where I've set stuff up, tried stuff out. It's only like a 20 to 30 minute hike, but I brought my four-wheeler just because it's too hot to be hiking today. Now, since I did leave in such a hurry, I brought a crap ton of stuff, most of which I probably won't necessarily need. Like I brought a bunch of extra food because I wasn't sure what I'd want. And then also grabbed this old tarp out of the building. And then another little fun fact is I'm going to be using my hammock, trying something new. I'm going to be trying to rig up my hammock using a tree and my four-wheeler. I'm not sure if I can get the appropriate ground clearance that I need and or want. We're going to give that a go, but I set up my hammock and a tarp and then some other stuff of mine to just to air out the night before last. No, sorry, not the night before last, but last night. And there was no chance of rain whatsoever, but lo and behold, it did come just a light shower for about 30-45 minutes. So my hammock is still a bit damp, so I do need to go ahead and get that up and situated. And then as far as this old utility tarp, I brought my one of my good tarps with me just in case this don't work. We're not supposed to have any rain today, but this is the one we used a couple videos back, and it does have a couple holes in it, but I do have some duct tape with me, so we'll see if we can get all that stuff squared away. I'm going to try to avoid setting this stuff on the ground for the time being because it has, been raining quite a bit over the past week and the ground is still very, very saturated, hence why we're going with the good old hammock setup. With this little idea that I got, we should only need one hammock strap. I don't know how well that'll show up, but that light color, that's what it's supposed to be, but this thing is still very damp. It's a very simple plan in the nutshell. I just think it's going to take a wee bit of tweaking to get right, because the height is the thing that I'm not too sure about, or how close I need it to the tree. Give her a go. Experimenting with this stuff's one of the funnest parts, as long as it works. So I'm hoping that the carabiners on here are big enough to where I can clip it to this front bar, like one of my front rack bars. Because if so, then we're in business. Now, I want my zipper on this side. Try not to drag it on the ground too much and get it all too much dirtier than it already is. So I could have wrapped that around that tree one more time because I'm going to back up kind of far. Does not look like we're going to get lucky. God dang it. If that clip was just out of the way just a hair more. I'm going to be careful not to break it. If there was any more clearance, simple knot with this little strand of paracord that I got in my pocket. I was planning on using that for something else, but sometimes you gotta change up your plan. Okay, that knot is not going anywhere. Now, we'll just back her up and then we can lock it in first gear. most all the larger rocks I used for my fire pit that was in this area. There we go. There's a little backup. So if you haven't seen the last video, when I was also trying out the, like using my hammock as a bug bivvy, that inflatable air pad of mine ended up getting I think it got punctured by a briar, and I do have another one of like an exact copy of that air pad, but I couldn't find it and I was in a hurry. So this right here is one of those halves of this, you know, thin foam sleeping pad, which is more than enough. Really don't even need it, but right now I want to kind of open this up so it's not overlapping on itself, so that more airflow can get under here and dry this thing out. Even if it is like damp to, like towards the, like later whenever we crawl in to go to bed, I'm not worried about, you know, freezing to death, because it's be kind of welcome. Because I did bring an acrylic blanket with me this time. Don't think I'll need it. I'm pretty positive I won't need it, but sitting here, which I'm going to try to beat it out a little bit more. I just thought, you know what, I've been using those green tarps of mine a lot, so let's break out something that I haven't used in a while for good reason. It's kind of, well, it's a utility tarp. There's really only two holes in this thing. There's this longer one and then one about the size of a 50-cent piece, and I've just got some regular black duct tape. Now the problem is this tarp is very dirty and a little moist, so the question is going to be whether or not this will stick. Once again, lucky enough we don't have any rain or anything, but well, last night we wasn't supposed to have any rain and it decided to peek its noggin out, so. No, wow, that's not sticking at all. Okay, what we might have to do is go ahead and put this tarp up and then tape it from the underside. Yeah, I have no plan whatsoever for this, and since we ain't supposed to have any high winds or rain, I'm going to attempt to use jute twine. This is like a thicker, just a thicker jute twine, so it should be fine just to hold this thing up. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it to this tree here and then run the bottom and tie it to the back rack on my four-wheeler. That's the plan. Big old spider, let's get rid of him. I'm going to see if friction will hold that up, and I can come down here and double up my tensile strength. Yeah, I think I might have to use this tripod. This thing has been sitting for quite a while, so it might be the worst option. The cordage is loosened up a lot. We can kind of wedge that there. I guess if I tie that and run it through and have the tension coming straight that way. Oh, come on, jute twine, hold up for me. That's a lot of this tarp's heavier than I thought it was. I forgot how heavy this thing is once you get it. I had to take and prop a stick under it as well. Just to help take some tension off. if I can rig this up in any way, shape, or form to help support this, but I doubt it. Let me tie that back side down, then we'll revisit this. That stick might work out perfectly. It looks like I brought just about the perfect amount of jute twine, but I am starting to get a little worried because this is actually a lot of tension and a lot of weight for just, you know, even though it is thicker, your regular old run-of-the-mill jute twine, but that should work out pretty good because now I can still access my zipper and all that's good to go. So now, before we get too carried away with excitement here, let me open this up and sit on it and see. Probably should have checked to see if the four-wheeler was going to move first. I know it's going to want to try to move without them rocks are there. Okay. That paracord that I got was a little damp and it's slipping, so I just need to redo the knot on that. And we should be good. Got our gallon jug of water right there. And then right now, before I'm not really hungry enough for like food yet. I mean like a main meal. But I did bring a can of peaches with me. Only downside to having this style of a packing system is you have to dig around to find everything. There we go, baby. Got some good old peach slices. And the nice thing is, even if there was precipitation, I can stick that bag underneath there. So let's crack open some peaches. See if I can sit here without getting decapitated by this jute twine. I don't want to rub it either. I'm hoping that just pouring out this juice doesn't attract every godforsaken fly in the continental United States. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what it's all about. Whenever it's hot like this, you can't beat some fresh fruit. It looks like those few holes and tears don't even line up with my hammock at all, so I think it'll be fine just to say screw it. Not worry about taping them. Alrighty guys, I'm going to finish this, and I guess the next time I'm coming back to you is going to be whenever we take and fix fix her dinner. I don't know what exactly. I brought chili beans, canned chicken, and chicken and dumpling, chicken and dumpling soup. So we'll see what we end up going with. Ooh, alrighty. So for the food times, we're gonna get right here in the nice nifty shade provided by this BAS tarp here. Got the old pocket rocket because too humid for any type of I'm soaking through my clothes right now. And this is a very minimal work. This was a very minimal work setup. So I just do not handle the heats well. I didn't hear no hiss. I hope that this canister hasn't like depressurized. Can't beat the good old creamy chicken and dumpling soup, mate. This stuff is an all-time good go-to. A bunch of aeroplanes flying around today. We're on a bit of a incline right here. I just want to stay in the shade, so we'll have to keep our hands on it. Careful not to burn nothing on the bottom. Already got little bubbles popping up. Alrighty, that should be plenty good enough because yeah, it's plenty good enough. Oh, alrighty. All you need is just warm enough to stick it in your mouth, pretty much. Yep. Not been disappointed by a can of this stuff yet. Well, I'm gonna finish this, get all my stuff cleaned up, and then it's only a couple more hours, I think probably about 2 hours until sunset. So I'm just gonna chill out, enjoy the nature. Then I'm gonna listen to a podcast on my cellular device, and I'll hit you guys up right before we hit the hay. Okay, guys, so if you can hear, it started raining. I took and dozed off in my hammock, and I woke up, and it just come like a sudden downpour, and my camera was in a waterproof bag charging up. But I'm glad to say that the structure is held up. I was worried that, with the rain and everything, the jute twine would end up having some issues. The only downside is my bag did get wet because during that downpour, I didn't want to get up and screw around with it. I was just kind of clutching my tits, hoping that nothing would collapse on me. But I'm going to take and hop back in bed for a little bit. I got to put this tarp down here to rest my feet on. I'm going to have to flip it over though now because it was raining so hard that even though everything under here is dry, it's just the rain. It was raining so hard it was splashing stuff onto the tarp and onto my just onto my boots and everything else. So before I get too awakened, I'm going to try to lay down and get a couple more hours of sleep. I am glad it rained though, because it's definitely cooled things down a lot. The only downside was the rain took and even though nothing's wet, it just like the pounding of the rain beat off a lot of the debris onto my hammock. So let me readjust this tarp down here so that I can have something dry to step on. Whew. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring y'all with me whenever I first laid down, but you know, whenever you get nice and cozy and comfy in a hammock, sometimes, you know, you just end up falling asleep. So I'm trying to do this without bringing in creepy crawlies on my toes. Alright guys, well, once again, thanks for spending the night with me. Let's get that back up here where it was. But yeah, thanks for spending the night with me, and I will see all you lovely people in a couple hours. Well, good morning guys. It's good to see you. It is still very, very wet. But once the rain died down to that slow pitter patter, whenever I got back with y'all last night, that was very relaxing. The only thing is I slept in. It's probably, I think it's about 8:40, 8:45, and the humidity is already unbearable. So the only reason I wish I'd kind of got up and out a little bit sooner is because to pack up before it got this humid. But what can you do? The only thing that happened last night, or the only thing that's changed since I checked in last night, is where the paracord kind of got, saturated. It stretched out a little bit. So this morning I'm not quite on the ground, but if I move back and forth, it's just rubbing the top of this tarp, and that's not because the knots loosened at all. That's just the paracord has stretched out just enough to lower my clearance. But this blue pad worked out great. Needed absolutely no cover. So yeah, we'll take and try to get the boots, making sure there's no creepy McCrawleys in there. There's a spot on my thing, so always gotta. It's those little simple things that's easy to forget to do or not to do, even if you think it's second nature by this point. Guys, that's going to do it for this one. I really appreciate you coming along for another one. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting really close to hitting 1,000 subs, which is exciting. Anytime you hit that first 1,000 sub mark on a new channel, it's, makes you feel all warm and tingly inside. Check the link in my description for my other channels. I got a gaming channel with over 15,000 subs on it. So if you're into gaming or know somebody that is, go check that out. Hit me up in that comment section, and until the next outing, adios.